minus 3 minutes. Minus 2 minutes. Minus 1 minute. Stand by.
How about that?
This is a very first world problem, okay? Very first world problem, which we're going to get to with our co-host in seconds. Professional sports bettor, Mitchell Steffi Blaine. He's coming up in moments. Later on in hour 2, CFL and NFL alum, the legendary Travis Lulay. Hi. I feel like my picture's cloudy and that's on me. Anyways, Mitchell has no idea what I'm talking about, so let's bring him in. Professional sports bettor, Mitchell Scruffy Blair. I have all these headlines and things to go through, Mitch, and the warm-up here for you to go up Carefree Travel. But wait, I just saw this, and maybe you did earlier this morning. Roger Goodell, in an interview with I don't know who, says that there will inevitably be teams outside the continental U.S., or outside the U.S., I shouldn't say continental. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Of all the things I wanted to talk about, I could talk about that for hours. What's the first thing you thought when you saw that? You're nodding your head that you saw it.
It doesn't surprise me, Rod. We're seeing all these games that are going to Europe. The NFL has certainly made an impact by going to places like Germany and England. Where else have they gone? They've gone to so many different places. And I forget how many international games there are going to be this year, but
9, I think.
It won't surprise me if we see. Now, is it going to happen within the next 5 years? I don't think so. But I think that we will see a team in Europe, and we'll certainly see a team in Europe before we see a team in Mexico or Toronto. But
Yeah.
I guess the thing that concerns me is something that a lot of people have talked about since the NFL started to go to Europe. And is that will Roger Goodell or whoever his successor is award a Super Bowl to London, England, or to Munich, Germany? If they do that, I think it's a huge mistake because you can't play the Super Bowl in Europe. The Super Bowl has to be played in the good old US of A.
Now, again,
So
stop. It's going to come down to, as it always does, how much money can we make? And I don't even think that's wrong. I don't even think that's wrong. That's what's gotten them to where they are right now.
well, if they
What
have sound
would've-
ownership,
Hang
you're
on.
correct.
Hang on. What would have been a great poll question in light of this is, do you think the NFL ever comes to Canada? I mean, when I saw this, I'm like, I still don't think that it will. But Mexico City was the city that popped into my mind. And you went straight for Europe. And maybe that's what Goodell's thinking. But that's a fun debate, too. Where will it be? And will it ever be Canada? It would be a no from me.
Yeah, I don't think it'll ever come to Canada. I think that, we see the Jacksonville Jaguars play a lot of games in England. And I'm not sure what the reasoning behind that is. I think it's got something to do with ownership. I don't think the NFL is going to yank a current team and relocate it to England. So I don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars are in any, situation where they have to worry about moving. But if you put a team in England or wherever, can you only expand by one?
No.
Because then now all of a sudden you've got, 33 teams? I don't know if you want to have an odd number of teams.
I know. Well, maybe they put 6. I mean, when you think about it, what's
God,
the
I hope not. That
No,
would
but
really
what's the
water down the
FCS?
product.
I know, but it's 130 teams, the FCS, and nobody has a problem with it. There's only 25 that are relevant.
No, I hear
and
you.
the NFL would be similar. So anyways, that just came down the pipe. So before we get back on point, not that we were ever on point, but to the guy who stopped the sports doctor Dave Pedersen in the gym in Winnipeg this morning and said he recognizes him from the RP show and he watches it on streaming, thank you. Thanks for watching in Winnipeg, and thanks for stopping the sports doctor. You made his day in the gym in Winnipeg today. Okay, far less time now in this opening segment to talk about the fact, what I was going to open the show with. Number one, the Ottawa Redblacks currently do not have a team president. Adrian Sciarra stepped down from the role on Monday following the team's 0-9 start. He remains with OSEG, Ottawa Sports and Entertainment Group, as president of the Ottawa 67s. The OSEG started an immediate search for a dedicated football leader. I don't know what your read was on this, Mitch. I mean, they're throwing everybody overboard there, right? Coaches, players, now the president, which is being reshuffled, but whatever. Now guys are scrambling for that job. They're asking me if I have contact info. I don't have those guys' contact info. No. But what did you think when you heard that yesterday? The president now. What's this going to do?
Nothing.
No,
you need to improve the talent on the field. Like you just said, they're just reshuffling the deck chairs. The bottom line, much like it was in Edmonton for so many years, is you've got to start winning.
Oh.
And that's just not happening in Ottawa. And I know there's even some people now going, because Ottawa, not that great a sports city, let's be honest. Could it be something that ends to the dissolution of the Red Blacks? No, I don't think that's going to be the case, especially when you've got the TV money coming in with the zone. But that team has to start winning, Rod, because
I know.
And I know your buddy AJ Jakubek, and I talked to AJ yesterday, but it was completely different because I was looking to see if he had something that someone's looking for. But how much interest is there in Ottawa Red Blacks football right now?
Well, we're going to see
there being a lot of it.
No, we're going to see over the second half of the season that there's none. But just so you know, on all of this, the viewers are all fired up today, and I love it. They got Opinions out the wazoo. Darren in Melford says, sorry, but I'm not for expansion outside the USA. There's enough teams as it is. Can you... Roger Goodell did not call Darren in Melford to get his opinion. Guys, they don't care what you think. Bunk, bunk, bunk. Roger Goodell comes out today.
No team.
Oh, my God.
No team, no league cares what you think.
No. What are you going to do? Handcuff yourself to MetLife Stadium in New York? No. Dude, they're going outside the U.S.
Well, I'm
Doesn't
waiting
matter
for a
what
lame duck Saskatchewan country singer to do that at Mosaic because he keeps crying about the 55-yard line.
Oh. He's probably watching or listening right now, Mitch.
Good.
So you be careful, mister. You're going to get your tailgate all shot up. We're going to be coming right back. We got a lot to go.
I'm not supporting the league anymore. Yeah,
we'll be right back on the RP Show.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection, booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
All right, it's getting good. It's getting good. Let's get these sponsor reads going. The text lines for Western Dodge. Are you ready for a new ride? Head to Western Dodge where the deals are real and the service is legendary. 902-518-3033. The Mad Greek is taking over the world. Whether it's pizza, ribs, or authentic Greek favorites, it's good. It's good. Make it the Mad Greek Eatery tonight, open until 11 p.m. Scruffy and I did last week. And Mitchell, so, hey, for the people, for the people that showed up late, go back and, what we talked about is this. The NFL, Roger Goodell is guaranteed. Huh? What?
Roddy, when you were late in high school for a class, did the teacher sit down and say, Rod, this is what you missed?
No, he did not.
Sit down at your desk and let's go.
So we keep going. So we talked about the fact that Roger Goodell has said the NFL will have teams outside the USA. It's happening. He just didn't say when or where. And another thing is the CFL's Ottawa Redblacks throwing their president overboard, or at least reshuffling him within the organization. Adrian Sciarra, and the fans are writing in with who they think it should be. We talked about, will they come to Canada with the NFL? Vancouver Eric says, nope, they already have Canada, which you, Scruffy, have been saying for a while. Carlos in Indiana says, is there a Canadian city big enough for both the CFL and NFL? The answer is no. Well, maybe. It doesn't matter because they're not coming here. Any thoughts before we move on?
On this topic?
Anything.
Let's move on.
Okay, so I went back and looked at the picks from last week. You did correctly take the Edmonton Elkamos to beat Toronto, but as of Tuesday, I have it written down here, you had Sask to beat Hamilton. Somewhere along the line,
I said, if
flipped.
you go back and listen to the tape,
yeah,
I said Hamilton will cover, if not win.
Oh, okay. Well, I just have you written down as Sask. So, whatever. Yeah, professional sports bettor Mitchell Scruffy Blair with us as co-host.
Who's very upset with the Miami Marlins today.
Why?
Because the Miami Marlins got 1 in the 9th last night to basically screw up a nice payday.
They're 3 games out of a wild card spot. I'll be going back. Yeah, I'll be going back there to an interesting scenario with. I don't think the Marlins are going to make the playoffs, but at least they have something to play for.
I'm hoping the Marlins make the playoffs.
Why? Why do you care? Money? Okay. Oh, you have them checked to make it. Okay. Eric from Mason Neck, Virginia. Hello. He says, what up, RP and squad? Virginia Eric checking in. Why doesn't everybody write in and tell us where they're watching from?
Okay, so we have Vancouver, Eric, and Virginia, Eric. Is that right?
Yeah, we got 2 of them. It's confusing as hell to me.
All right. Do we have a Victoria, Eric?
CFL, no, that's Wayne in Victoria, who, by the way, on cue, has written in. Okay. On the Western Dodge text line, 902-518-3033. He says, good morning, Rod and Scruffy. I don't have any idea where the NFL is going to expand to. He says, but the NFL isn't likely to expand into Canada. The profitability isn't there. And as you all, guys that are smarter than me, have said, they already have Canada. They already have it. So they don't need to market here.
Wayne, you need to change your name to Eric. Get with the program.
Yeah. Let's just do the CFL Week 12 picks now. And then we can move on to other things. Or stay on the CFL if you want. Ottawa, Montreal.
Montreal.
Of course. Winnipeg at the Edmonton Elkamos.
Edmonton. They're looking for about 30,000 again there, apparently.
Mine Cody. The battle of the QEW. The Hamilton Tiger Cats at the Toronto Argonauts. Who do you like?
Toronto.
This is boring. We're picking all the same teams. How about the Saskatchewan Roughriders at the BC Lions?
BC.
Okay. I'm taking them too. And so a couple things. I talked to a rider coach yesterday. We had a hell of a chat. He loves the show and said to say hey to you. But I said, hey, I'll see you at the walkthrough Saturday at BC Place. He goes, no, you won't. And I said, what? He goes, we don't do walkthroughs on the road anymore. They don't do road walkthroughs anymore in the CFL. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
But he talks like it's been a thing for a long time. And to be honest, I kind of blame Vancouver for – that's funny. Asked Kevin, producer Corey says, ask Kevin the medium where the NFL is going to expand to. Stop it! He's not good at sports results. I don't think he would be able to predict this either. But anyways, I blame Vancouver for them ending the road walkthroughs because Vancouver was the first city where no media came. This was in my time, the day before the game to interview our coaches or stick around for our practice. So somewhere along the line, the team, because now there's no media anywhere, so the team's like, we might as well just stay home. And, well, that's at least what the Riders are doing. Well, they're like,
that's
we'll do the
very
walkthrough
good point. I never thought of
in
that.
our own
I don't know when that would have started. And I'll be honest with you, Rod. I don't listen to either radio station in Regina with their pregame show. So that's where you would get that stuff. It just makes me wonder. Like, I know there were days when you would have, by the way, that's not a shot at either station either.
Kind of is, but.
Okay. But I wonder, though, and I remember, like, there were times when it'd be like, okay, these players are coming to the stadium and these coaches. Because our friend Britt Dort, our friend Claire Hanna, our friend Tom Gazzola, Danielle Bain in Winnipeg, like, they have to do some interviews with players for the TSN broadcast. So is that just being done at a hotel now? Or is it being done at a stadium?
Well, I don't know.
I guess you can do it at the hotel because all you need is the backdrop.
I know. Well, I'll. It's also 2026. They could do the interview in front of that backdrop and send the tape to TSN. Nobody needs to know where they are.
Yep. No,
Daniel writes in from BC, says, I'm surprised you guys are picking BC. There is still hardly any media at Lions games. I kind of think that's why I had asked for 2 passes for the press box for Sunday, and the Lions got back. You're in. Done. I just kind of think that there's probably a lot of room in the press box there. I don't know. They treat me great. Why am I taking BC? They've won 3 in a row. And from everywhere I hear, Rider fans are already conceding the victory because of injuries. That's what I'm seeing. They're conceding the victory.
Yep. I think a lot of people got, as I said yesterday, the Riders managed to get through a couple of games where maybe they shouldn't have won. The Ottawa game was a slam dunk for them. But when you don't have A.J. Ouellette, you're down to what? Running back number 3 now. You don't have Kean Schaefer-Baker. You don't have Samuel Emelis. Bleh. You don't have Tavon Campbell. Like, take a look at that injury list right now. And you've got a BC team that's getting healthy and a Rider team that's not. So, on paper, you got to take the Lions. And I don't know what the odds are for BC, how much they're favored by. And I can
you're the sports betting
right away.
You're the sports betting professional.
I know, but I haven't taken a look, but I can find out right away. But I would think BC's got to be favored by at least 5.5 to 6.5 points. Let's just take a look.
Well, hang on. Yeah, Scruffy's going to the big board. And while he does that, Vancouver Eric writes in, he says, sports media is on summer holidays waiting for the start of the Canucks season, which, by the way, what a flippin' joke. The Canucks will be the worst team in the NHL this year. I'm going to get to the Pacific. I'm going to get to the FanDuel Pacific Division rankings before we go off the air with you today. But, oh, yeah, they're all got their feet up.
Wow.
Sitting
BC
by the ocean.
Only favored by 1, Rod.
Okay, whatever. I was in the middle of a story, or at least saying something before you rudely. No, you're not.
No.
They would rather chase around the last place, the Canucks, than give any coverage to one of the hottest teams in the CFL right now, the BC Lions. That's disgusting to me. But what? It's not. It's not the media's fault. It's their bosses. Okay, just so you know, because for the media that will be there in the press box on Sunday, I don't want them pissed off at me. I got enough of them mad at me as it is. Matt DeBuck checks in from Fort Lauderdale. Yes.
Who have you angered in Vancouver now?
Ever hear of a guy by the name of Steve Daniel?
Who?
Steve Daniel. He went into the Hall of Fame last year. The
statistician?
Yes.
What'd you do
2010.
to him?
2010. You tell me if you think this is wrong. 2010.
Empire Stadium, the temporary Empire Stadium, as they were. Casey Printers was quarterbacking the Riders. And remember, we played in that's 30,000 temporary seat stadium in East Vancouver. We were like camping. We were in a tent in the press box, and I'm on the air. Not a big deal. Only the Rider Radio Network with more radio stations than God and the whole province listening. He walks by, Steve Daniel, and he kicks my power cord and knocks me off the air. Mitch, in 2010, you knew me. How do you think that would go over with me?
Oh, dear.
I still kind of don't think I was in the wrong.
Well, at least you didn't knock a big thing of water over in the sports cage terminal like you did that one time.
At least it was just water. All I'm saying is I went ballistic on Steve Daniel in the press box to the point that Julio Caravata he's like, Rod, calm down.
Settle down.
It was a different time. I'm a different person now. But I don't think he's over it.
At least you had that problem. You never had to call the game by a cell phone like I had to at Thunderbird Stadium when the Rams took on UBC.
I had to do
have trauma over that.
I had to do an hour-long power outage broadcast over a BlackBerry.
We both did
in
that.
2007. Anyways, Virginia Eric says most people only care about the sausage, not how the sausage is made. Maybe most people only want highlights and scores. No, that's what it is. That's what it is now. But back in the day, we all wanted to know about these players. We loved those interviews. That's all gone by the wayside. Some guys like AJ Ouellette here in Sask, Mitch, you know it yourself. You can't open your phone without seeing that guy somewhere. He's doing his own marketing and branding, and it's amazing what he's doing. Oh my God, Ken. Oh, Scruffy, you might have to stay long today. Ken in Mississauga, Ontario writes, and he says, what do you think of TSN Radio in Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa now carrying Buffalo Bills games? Number one, I can't believe it took so long. But number two, and DeBuck will know, West Palm Beach Radio, ESPN in West Palm Beach, which is in our listening area, they're carrying Bills games. The Bills are taking over the world. 2026 sports media is out of frickin' control, man. It makes no sense what's going on anywhere.
Is this the first year that they've done that? Because I thought they've been doing Bills games for quite a while.
Well, they're advertising the hell out of it. And furthermore, WQVZ, which carries this show in West Central Georgia and Eastern Alabama, contacted me about carrying Florida Panthers games. And I lined them up with the Panthers, and the Panthers told them, unfortunately, we can't because you're not in our region. There's NHL rules for this. Apparently, the NFL doesn't have those rules because the Bills are airing in West Palm. Yeah, this is all the stuff that people don't know. Vintage Sasko writes in. He says, Uncle Rod, I hear the BC Place press box serves caviar and has gold-plated Lazy Boy chairs after the World Cup renovations. Enjoy the weekend. Signed, Sasko. I thought about Ken Austin's former wife, Shelley, this morning. Being removed from the press box in the 2007 West Final. Remember that when she accused them, which I knew they were doing, of playing fake crowd noise? She broke... Ken Austin's wife busted into the press box. We all knew they were doing it. And to this, that's maybe another reason why they don't like, well, they like us now. At the time, they didn't. Anyways, what are you thinking, Mitch? Your mind just went somewhere.
When you think about Kent Austin, go back to a thing in my column this week on your website.
That his number should be retired.
The Riders need to retire number 5. I think they need to retire number 81. I think they need to retire number 60. Well, that's another topic for another time.
Coach DeBuck says the pro team in South Florida is the Hurricanes. Nobody else. He's talking about the U. Oh, my God, I'm going to see a lot of that this year. Be right back on the RP Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly, we built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Dean, Brody, and the Wreck Loss teaming up for the Hometown Heroes Tour.
If there's work, you know I'm gonna work.
Live at Temple Garden Center, November 9th.
Can't blame nobody else. I can't help myself.
Two of Canada's biggest country acts. One stage, one unforgettable night on the Hometown Heroes Tour. Tickets on sale now at the Temple Garden Center box office or online at saskpix.ca.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Not enough time to get through all this today. Wayne in BC says, I'm sorry, Scruffy, but I don't believe in retiring numbers. You're going to run out of numbers. I agree with Wayne in BC. Vancouver, Eric writes that he says, we like the RP show in Vancouver. I know, but you shouldn't. That's the whole point of what I'm getting at here. It's like somebody saying, Kelly Rempel was with me last week. He goes, I'm shocked they love you in Moose Jaw so much after the things you've said and done here. I'm a different guy. I had fire. Back in the day. Now I'm
Roddy?
One little match. What?
You are friends with Rob Kearney, right?
Oh, yeah. Best friends.
As long as you are friends with Rob Kearney,
we're good.
You are good in the city of Moose Jaw. But if you ever offend Rob Kearney, you're on a rail car.
That'll never
out
happen.
Of town.
He's the Dick Clark of Moose Jaw, everybody. And the Bob Cole of Moose Jaw. Bob in Medicine Hat writes in. He says, good morning, Rod and Scruffy. Bob from the Hat, watching again as usual. You guys have a great day. Kirk in Toronto. He's got a couple things that could take you and me, Mitch, through the end of this segment, but I won't allow it to happen. But he says, number one, he says, with a population of 3.2 million and being the fourth largest city in North America, is Toronto still on the radar for NFL expansion? Why is this brought up? Because Roger Goodell said it's coming. He said it's coming outside the USA for teams. And Kirk also says, I'm only pissed with the coaching of the Argos. There are some fans that think pinball needs to go. You lost me, Kirk, at the some fans think ... I looked it up the other day. You know who originally said if you listen to the fans, you'll eventually be sitting with them? Buddy Ryan.
Oh, that's
Buddy
right.
Ryan and Harry Neal. They both get credit for it. But, I mean, come on. Number one, I don't think there is a problem with the Argos. And number two, if it was, I don't think it's pinball. Do you?
No.
No. Okay, well, that was easy. Open and shut. While I have you here, professional sports bettor, Mitchell Scruffy Blair with me. You should change your Twitter handle to that, your bio. Here from FanDuel is their Pacific Division rankings for this upcoming NHL season.
Yeah, I saw this morning.
The Edmonton Oilers. 2, the Vegas Golden Knights. 3, the Los Angeles Kings. 4, the Anaheim Ducks. And below the playoff cutoff line, San Jose, Seattle, Calgary, Vancouver. You were shaking your head right at number 1 that you didn't agree.
Yeah, and I've said it before, and I'm just bringing it up here because I saw you put this up this morning. I don't understand. Like, I'm missing something here when it comes to the Oilers. They're going to be a good hockey team, Rod, but are they better than Vegas? Are they better than Colorado? And I know that's a different division. Are they better than an up-and-coming San Jose team?
Well,
they're better than LA. I'll give them that. And I don't know why LA is in third, because that's...
I'd have Anaheim. I'd flip Anaheim with LA. And that's the thing. It's FanDuel's ranking,
Anaheim's
not
right
mine.
there, too. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I understand when you've got McDavid and Draisaitl and Bouchard that you think that everything's going to be good. But there are so many question marks around that team, with the biggest one being the head coach. If Bruce Cassidy was the head coach or John Tortorella, I might be able to subscribe to that. But
yeah,
Roddy, the Edmonton Oilers could be the top team in the NHL at Christmas, and I'd still be waiting for the Jenga thing to collapse because of Mike Babcock.
I know, and think of this new coach in Vegas too, in Ryan Craig, and a new coach in LA in Peter Laviolette. See, this is where the CFL lacks, and it isn't even necessarily their fault. You guys are all pissed that the NFL brought this. They're masters of the hype. The NFL are masters of the hype. Goodell just throws that out there today. Goodell just puts a little cheese in the trap, and we all jump on it. Where are they going to, all of a sudden, that's what everybody's talking about today. The NHL, same thing, coming up with these rankings, which is what I did. All of a sudden, we're talking about the teams, and who's coaching LA? I had to look it up. I forgot. Laviolette. And that's where I think, I know the CFL could use a little bit of help.
Not only that, Rod, but like you get the stuff from NHL.com. Like every day, it's a 32 team in 32 days.
Jason in Red Deer says Vegas is the only team in the division that hasn't changed. Vegas is number 1 for sure, except for a coach that's never coached a game in the National Hockey League, Ryan Craig. I'll rest my case. Now, Ken in Mississauga writes in and says, the reason the NFL theoretically could come to Toronto is Rogers would foot the entire bill for any Rogers Center. Mitch, you and I are singing from the same hymn book today. I'm like, you guys have got to let it die. You got to let it go. It's not happening.
Oh, my God.
What was going through your mind?
Can we also remember this?
What?
The Buffalo Bills know that Canada is a cash cow for them.
Yeah.
Do you really think that the Buffalo Bills are going to allow a team in Toronto when they've got the territorial rights? Just like if the NFL looked at Vancouver, the Seattle Seahawks would be going, let's just put this on pause for a second. They're not doing that. And Roger Goodell's not going to take away a large chunk of an existing team's fan base just to put them in a different country. Like, let's wake up, people.
Daniel
in Vancouver says the NFL announced outside of USA. That means Europe. Not necessarily. The first city that I thought was Mexico City. I wasn't thinking of Canada, but I was thinking of Mexico City, which we forget as our Western Hemisphere, North America cousins. Your boy Vintage Sasko writes in, he says, Al Strachan said if the NFL goes to Montreal, the Alouettes will relocate to Halifax or London before the 1983 season. I'm sorry, Al Strachan needs to go away. You just said 1983. Al needs to go away. I'm sorry. I enjoyed him.
Does Vintage Sasko still have his Twitter account suspended?
I see he's got a new Twitter account. You saw that.
Shadowing out there somebody.
Like, what do you got to do to get your Twitter account suspended? Because I've seen some rank things out there that have not been suspended. Somebody shaking their moneymaker right in the camera.
I'm not going to say it.
And they're not suspended, but Vintage Sasko.
You know what I'm thinking too.
No, I don't. Well, I do.
Yeah, you do, because I told you about it a few weeks ago.
Yeah. But we don't talk about him. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says LOL to the NFL in Montreal. I mean, yeah. Travis Lulay coming up next hour, by the way. Because here's the thing. For every second we spend talking about that. Oh, how about a guy that wins the MVP of the 2011 Grey Cup and turns around and donates the $10,000 to a abused women's shelter in Vancouver?
He's top notch.
This
Ronnie,
is the kind of
know from the days that we were covering the league together.
Are the greatest.
Travis Lulay was one of my favorite players when they came into Regina.
But here's the type of people that make me never want to leave my bedroom. Yeah, but he'll get a tax receipt for that. He'll get it all back in tax. Oh, my God. You know there's the people that say that. You know that, right?
Yep. Sadly, I do.
It reminded me of a story of Greg Zahns. A bunch of the Blue Jays back in the day went to a bowling alley to have a fundraiser for a charity. It got out of control, Mitch. It was the scene, according to Zahn, from Varsity Blues. And the Toronto Sun wanted to do a story on it because these guys, they had some women over that had less than honorable intentions. You know what I'm saying? Kind of got out of control. But they raised $20,000 for the charity. So the Toronto Sun calls Zahn and says, well, some people have a problem with your guys' actions at the bowling alley. He said, what did those people do for the charity? That was the end of that discussion. But anyways.
By the way, can we have a moment of silence for the Zanzibar?
The who? From the what?
From the Zanzibar.
What is that?
It's a place in Toronto. Very similar to places you might find in Montreal. Place where Western Canadian boys would go when they go to Toronto.
Oh, I've been there. No, I've been there. There was a couple. I was with the owner one night of that place. I told this story. Got some girls were dancing on the couch with stilettos. I went to him. I said, "Hey, I'll go tell those girls to get down to you." And he's like, "No," because they're drinking $200 bottles of vodka like water. He goes, "I'll go get another couch tomorrow. You stay where you are." I was with Sherry Trapp, Barry Trapp, and Arash Madani. That happened.
On that note, we better leave.
I think let's just call it a day. Have a good one, Mitch. See you later. We'll be right back, everybody.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Back on the air on the RP Show. Pausing just for 1 second. We were talking about streaming and will you pay more and all the rest. And by the way, last week's poll, will you pay more for streaming? I think it was Friday. We did it. 84% of you said, no, you won't. I'll remind you that you're watching this show or listening to this show for free. And don't tell me about, I have to pay $30 a month for myself. No, this shows we're not charging you here. So do me a favor and support our sponsors. Like, you want to go on a cruise this winter and you love the CFL. So why wouldn't you join Adam Bighill, Willie Jefferson, Jake Ceresna, CFL stars, and Kevin the Medium on that CFL fan trip of a lifetime, departing out of the port of Fort Lauderdale for 7 days. February 20th, 2027 as they leave. Prices beginning at $18.99, cruise only. Contact Uniglobe Carefree Travel. The contact info is on the screen. Go into the Mad Greek and tell them that you saw the Rod Pedersen Show talking about them. Go to Suds and wash your car. Tell them you went there because of the Rod Pedersen Show. Or Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. Drop $20 for an hour of lane time and tell them you're there because of the RP Show. Those are the people that are keeping us on the air. Western Dodge and Moose Jaw, Golden Ticket Sports Center, just all of them. Please do me a favor and support our sponsors, please, and thank you. We don't charge you here. So just to walk this all back, Ottawa Redblacks don't have a team president. Adrian Sciarra stepped down from the role Monday, but he's going to stay on as president of the Ottawa 67s. Look, I wanted to get into that more with Mitch. There's just way too much more to talk about. Well, I said to Mitch, do you think this will do anything? He's like, no. No. And I look at these conglomerates that have one president for multiple teams. Clearly, Ottawa Sports and Entertainment Group are one. It doesn't work. And look at the Flames. Look at, that's happening in Calgary. Frankly, look at Toronto. Is it working there? I don't really think so. You could say, well, there is one president in Vegas under the umbrella of teams, but they're winning the Golden Knights and filling the barns. So it doesn't but that's not a conglomerate. OSEG is. CSEG is, whatever the hell it is, CSEC, MLSE is. So I'm just saying you have one guy in charge. People were saying here earlier, like one guy of all the teams. He can't possibly know all the sports. Like people are saying Henry Burr should be the president. Maybe he should be. I would. Oh, man, I wanted to get into with Mitch, too. I mean, they say that it starts at the top, and it kind of does, but it also starts at the bottom, because I've been with winning teams and I've been with losing teams, and without question, the losing teams are the people at the top don't come down to the front lines and talk to the guys and gals that are there. They don't know what's going on in their own organization. You ever watch Undercover Boss? It's the same thing, but for sports. So... And I was listening this morning to out for my miles-long walk here, as I do every morning, and I love it. And today, well, I listen to Florio now every day because it's football season from Pro Football Talk. I just love him. But him and Chris Sims are talking about why is Troy Aikman working for the Dolphins? Doesn't make any sense. Why would a franchise great like Troy Aikman be working for the Dolphins? I'm like, guys, how do you not get it? You work in the league. Now, I follow everything that Troy Aikman says and does because he's my favorite player of all time in the National Football League, and the Cowboys are my team, can't you tell? It's because they're like, why? Troy Aikman is probably going to turn the Dolphins around or have a huge role in it. Why isn't he doing that for the Cowboys? I'm like, you guys can't see this? You don't know? And you're in the league? Jerry won't share the spotlight. As a matter of fact, Aikman said in an interview on a podcast in Dallas that Jerry Jones needs to take the blame for the fact this team hasn't been in the Super Bowl since I started the 1995 Super Bowl for them. Troy said that. He goes, you're going to take the credit if they win, so he's got to take the blame if they lose. Troy said that. So all I'm just saying, how do people not see that? When you see franchise greats estranged from the organization, why does that happen? It's because of the people at the top, and that's the thing with Troy. He was asked about the Cowboys, historic regular season success, lack of playoff success. He goes, I'm sorry to say it starts at the top. Period. So maybe put Henry in there. I'd like to see him come in as the quarterback's coach, then the offensive coordinator, maybe eventually the head coach. I don't know, but when you're 0-9, pretty much everybody gets fired. Remember, that's what happened with us in Sask. It's when Chris Jones was given the keys to the castle. We started 0-9. Whew, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. That's just like point one. And Scruffy and I both go into Pump Jacks and order the coconut shrimp. They sponsor our picks, and they do it for the CFL. They do it for the NFL, NHL, Pump Jacks Steakhouse and Saloon, Pump Jacks Cathedral, and Pump Jacks Weyburn. Come early, stay late at the place where friends meet. We're just so far off the road here that it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm gonna save the college football talk for next hour in the USA. Just enjoy all the Canadian hour for what it is. I have a friend down there in West Palm Beach, Florida, MK. I'm going to be seeing her as soon as I get home. She's like, and she's originally from Ottawa. She goes, she watches this show, and she's like, your show is the best of Canadian sport. It's all the best of what Canadian sport is. I'm like, thank you. That should be a marketing line for us. So enjoy it while we're talking about it here on hour one, because our poll question today for EMJ Marketing, I did put it on our Instagram page, is, are you excited for college football? And 100% of respondents so far said no. 100% said no. And having said all of that, this is where, after 8 seasons now of me hosting this show, I can confidently say that I'm in the driver's seat of the bus. So if you don't like what we're talking about, hit the light over. We'll stop the bus. We'll pull over, and you can get off. Because Shane from Brandon wrote in and said it's too early for hockey talk. And I'm like, and you call yourself a fan? Point being, I was on Richard Holdridge's show last week, WQVZ, down in eastern Alabama, west central Georgia. And he brought up college football. And I was like, no, I was in the middle of the playoffs with the Western Canadian Baseball League. I'm like, my mind isn't there. But what I guess my point is, where my mind is what will be going into this microphone and this camera every single day. And Kevin Media, the medium, kind of likes it. If you don't like what we're talking about, wait 2 minutes. We'll be talking about something else. Jeff the Stamps fan says, I should donate to the show again. Yeah, you should. Joe put up a different poll question, which is totally cool. We're all about inclusivity here.
which, by the way, Mike Abu-Meshrik is going to come down Thursday to Golf Fanatics in Calgary for Theo Fleury's golf tournament. That's Thursday. We'll be live from Golf Fanatics in Calgary. I said to Abu, put on your best dress. He liked that. Trevor tunes in from WQIM Miami and the Upper Bowl podcast. He says, what up, party people? We throw off the people that don't want to be on the bus. That's what I'm saying. I'm nicely saying, press the button above you, call for attendance, for service. We'll pull over the bus and you can get off. But I'm driving. Daniel in Vancouver says, same with me. I love all leagues of football. Vancouver Eric says, love all football. CFL, NFL, NCAA. Right? Us too. So that's the point. In hour one, you're going to get your CFL talk. It's an hour a day in the summer. My God, nobody else is doing this across the land. So enjoy it and soak it up. Now, having said that, Travis Lulay is coming up in hour two because that's where we put our guests. And the thing is, with our Nevada audience, oh, Jeff the Stamps fan, are you drunk? You didn't have to make that donation, Jeff the Stamps fan. But who's kidding who? We'll take it. Trevor from WQIM Miami says, no pullover. We just throw them out with a parachute. I'll say another thing, by the way. I mean, Calgary's great, and there's a lot of you, Jeff, the Stamps fan, just donated an exorbitant amount of money to this show. One thing about Calgary, if you're not from there, it's very hard to break into. Trust me, I know. A lot of you from Calgary like me, and that has to do with the fact that I went to college there. You love my CFL roots, but overall, it wasn't the most hospitable place. Florida, everybody's from somewhere else. You hear all my... Matt DeBuck is from Montreal. Trevor from WQIM is from Darien, Connecticut. I remember these things. Chris from the Bronx. Guess where he's from? Well, thank you, Jeff, the Stamps fan. He says, I wanted to. It would be like the girls in the back, the servers, fighting over the tip that he just dropped. Thank you, Jeff, the Stamps fan. All I'm saying is we will get to more college football talk next hour, but I hope you enjoyed that we did our CFL picks this week, and Scruffy and mine were identical. They will be up at rodpedersen.com probably Wednesday night, which is a whole other thing. Just so you know, I'm going to Calgary. Wednesday's show will be live from Overtime Hockey Lanes. Colin Patterson's coming down live. NFL CFL vet Ryan Thelwell will be on the air, but not there. He'll be on via video. And then Thursday will be a Golf Fanatics, Theron Fleury's golf tournament, which we do every year, and I'm so grateful that they asked me to come back. I mean, the first year that I emceed it, I told them that I was the 20-year voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and I got booed. You know how that feels, just so you know? Not great. I was thinking about Lancaster this morning. It was when I was setting up the show here today. Ron Lancaster, if you want to know why he wasn't the general manager of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, I'm not going to tell you who told me. Let's just say this was for a time his town. My buddy just moved into a new house in Lancaster Place. Who do you think that street was named after? Lancaster says, these people booed me as a player and they booed me as a coach. I'm not going to give them the opportunity to boo me as a general manager. And he never came back. Didn't feel good. I got booed in Calgary, but now I come back every year and I host that event, and now it's all good. I'm just saying initially it wasn't great. But I got Abu coming down, 10-year CFL or Grey Cup champion, and he'll have you know he's won more Grey Cups than Muhammad Ali. And Murph's going to come on via video, but Theo is such a golfer, and I love him. He's family, Theron Fleury, but it's like easier to ask for a urine sample from Theo than to get him to come and spend 10 minutes on the air. Now, he does it, but it's hard to get him because his mind's in the golf. Plus, he's hosting the whole thing. I get it. So Abu's going to come down, Kevin the Medium. That's Thursday. Big fun in Calgary. We'll be right back with hour two right after this.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
Feel like Jerry Reed here right now. We got a long ways to go and a short time to get there. It's the RP Show. Welcoming viewers across Las Vegas and Nevada. Listen up. We're going to be talking about you in seconds. Our special guest today, Travis Lulay, the pride of Salem, Oregon, Montana State grad, football player, Bobcat, and BC Lions great, Grey Cup champion, played in the NFL too. Travis Lulay coming up a little later on this hour, brought to you by Prairie Panels, which is great. Let me just give you this disclaimer. As you know, we're so not your normal sports show. And so Jeff the Stamps fan, for those that are, some are just getting on the train here in hour one for them. It's hour two for everybody else on WQVZ radio, streaming platforms like Game Plus streaming, YouTube Live, all the rest. The RP Show and podcast, of course. But near the end of last hour, out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Jeff the Stamps fan dropped $100 in the YouTube chat. And I just want to make it clear, I wasn't sitting there singing for my supper. I was just saying, please support our generous sponsors. It's what keeps us on the air. And he sent $100. I'm like, are you sure? Did you hit the button by mistake? He's like, I wanted to do it. So now do I have to talk about the Stampeders for an hour? You tell me. We did talk about it with Henry Burris last week and the fact that the head coach there, Dave Dickinson, is one game away from his 100th. He just can't seem to get it. And it won't be this week as the Stampeders are off. And we did our picks for Week 12 in the Canadian Football League last hour for our wonderful sponsor, Pump Jacks Cathedral
Pump Jacks, Weyburn, come early, stay late at the place where friends meet. Okay, so 1,799 shows ago, roughly, when I was sitting down, and this show started as just a little Facebook show. That's all that we did. We were like noted as pioneers in the digital broadcasting space in Canada. When I laid my head down on the pillow at night, I'm like, what are we going to talk about tomorrow? That lasted like a couple of days because you get up in the morning and everything's changed overnight. And now, in the world of 2026, by the way, that was back in 2019. Now I don't even in the morning. I put together a rough script, which is brought to you, the warm-up here and the Quick Six Show topics, brought to you by Uniglobe Carefree Travel Group. Support them too, please. The preferred travel partner of the RP Show and the BC Lions when it comes to sports trips, group travel, or your next great getaway. Trust the pros who handle every detail so you can enjoy the journey. Contact Neil Chark with Uniglobe Carefree Travel. I'm hoping to see Neil when I'm at BC Place this weekend for the huge CFL game between the BC Lions and Saskatchewan Roughriders. But anyways, now it's like, I'm telling you, 60 seconds before we went to air, I see on Instagram, isn't that where we all get our news now? Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the National Football League, saying today, or at least it was announced today, I had said it on a podcast recently, that the NFL will have teams outside the USA. It's not an if, it's a matter of when. And I'm like, that guy is so sharp. He earns every penny of his wage. I mean, the last time I saw, he was making $37 million a year, and that was a couple of years ago. He's probably at least double that now. But here's his little thing. He just drops the little tidbits, and then just everybody laps them up in the media all around the world. And the question is, where's that going to be? In my mind, as a passport-carrying Canadian, I didn't think it would be Canada. I do not believe the NFL is coming to Canada. And a lot of our viewers, someday I will read you the analytics, and it'll knock your skirt off. But a lot of our viewers are in Toronto, and despite the fact that they're CFL fans, they're also football fans, and they just can't give up the dream of the NFL coming to Toronto. I don't personally believe it's going to happen. There's never been any indication from the National Football League that it's going to happen. So I don't think it's going to be Canada. But the first city that popped in my mind was Mexico City. And then our Hour One co-host, Scruffy's like, no, not even on the continent. It'll be Europe. And he's like, well, there's no way, though, that they could ever host a Super Bowl in London. I'm like, why not? I'll say this again. Wally, Jerry Jones, I learned this at the Super Bowl in Vegas. It was not my first Super Bowl, but it was the first time that I was actually hanging around long-time NFL media. And these were the Peter Kings of the world and stuff. It was pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. And they're just like, I was that guy just sat in the back of the room and shut the hell up and listened. There needs to be more people like that. But anyways, they were saying Jerry Jones has said the Cowboys will never play outside of North America. It won't happen. I thought he said America, but as it turned out, they had played in Mexico City before. But he said that at the very least, I guess they said Jerry Jones was quoted as saying the Cowboys would never play off the continent, and lo and behold, they are playing in Brazil. So my point of all that is, as I said to Scruffy, if they can make more money with a London Super Bowl or a Munich Super Bowl, listen, I'm not familiar with Europe, never been, don't want to go. I'm good with Florida, like coming to Nevada. I'm good. And Canada in the summertime. But they don't feel that way. The National Football League. I mean, my God, why don't you put a team in Australia and a team in South America and a couple teams in Great Britain? It's coming. It's coming. It's not a matter of if, it's when. And what would have been a good poll question. That's what I'm saying. I'd posted that our poll question today for EMJ Marketing, Elite Keynote Speakers Bureau. The poll question is, are you excited for college football season? And by the way, if you are, you better get over to our Instagram page and vote on it at The Rod Pedersen Show, because so far 100% of respondents are saying no. And it's not that I'm not excited for it. Trust me, I am. I just haven't thought about it yet. When that came up last week with Richard Holdridge, I don't get where people have the time. Or our Hour One co-host is now a professional sports bettor, Scruffy. He doesn't like me saying that, but I'm like, bro, you're making a wage doing it. That's the definition of a professional.
He's on top of all these sports. I just don't know where people have the time. So 100% of people saying no. So if you like college football, you might want to vote on that and vote yes. A good poll question will be, will the NFL ever put a team in Canada? So can we just, for the live viewing audience right now, live streaming, wherever you're tuned in from, or even later in the day, if you're watching it later, 902-518-3033 on the Western Dodge text line, do you ever envision an NFL team in Canada? It's a no from me, dog. And as my friend Gary Echeverry, the pride of Los Angeles, California, who now hangs his hat in Spokane, Washington, long-time legendary defensive coordinator in the CFL, says, never's a long time. You kind of got to have your pencil tucked behind your ear and your glasses down on your nose to say that never's a long time. I don't think the NFL is ever going to Canada. That's just the first point. Some other things that I had. O.J. Brigance, a former Baltimore Ravens, BC Lions, and Baltimore Stallions linebacker, and the team's longtime advisor and player engagement, has died 19 years after being diagnosed with ALS, the disease also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. He was 56. Brigance, who won a Super Bowl with Baltimore in 2000, served as an inspiration to the organization for nearly 2 decades with his determination to fight the disease and surpass the initial prognosis. Let me tell you something. O.J. Brigance was playing in the CFL when I first began working in the league in 1991. So let's say I covered his games. I didn't call his games. I was a sideline reporter, but I remember him as a linebacker with the BC line, 91 to 95. He played in the CFL, first with BC, later on Baltimore, and then he played with the NFL's Baltimore Ravens, as I said, won a Super Bowl. We had a guy in the CFL by the name of Tony Proudfoot. The old-timers will remember the name. Legendary Montreal Alouettes receiver, later on broadcaster, and he died of ALS, and I saw that whole – I knew Tony before, knew him during, knew him after. And what I will tell you about this, these guys that want to sit there and face it and battle it like OJ and like Tony, they are in heaven. They get expedited. Because I'll tell you what, if I ever got that disease, you wouldn't find me. Other NFL news, Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones opened training camp saying he would be willing to give up some of the future to put his team over the top in the hunt for a Super Bowl. After agreeing to a 1-year deal with veteran pass rusher Von Miller on Sunday, Jerry said Monday he remains willing to make a substantive move to further improve the roster if one should arise. Can I just take a second? There's more coverage of the LA Rams right now than the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm more than okay with that. What I'm seeing out of Dallas, it just seems weird, and I don't know whether I should believe it or not. Again, I'm not switching my allegiances from the Dallas Cowboys to the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm just adding the Raiders as a team that I'm following pretty closely. But with Dallas, I'm like, what is going on? Jerry is saying the right things. There is no drama. There's no contract holdouts. They're doing everything right. Maybe it will be different, but I don't think it's going to be different. There's the thing. We tend to get fooled with people like that. And I mentioned this near the end of hour one, listening to Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk this morning out for my walk. I won't go as deep on this as I did last hour, but they were playing clips from Troy Aikman. He was on a podcast out of Dallas. Troy, my greatest favorite NFL player of all time, is working for the Miami Dolphins. You're going to hear this a lot over the summer and fall, so just get ready for it. Okay? Don't say you weren't warned, but Florio and Chris Sims couldn't figure out why Troy Aikman is working for the Miami Dolphins. I'm like, how do you I know you're not Cowboys fans, but how do you not? Everybody knows why. Troy and Jerry don't get along. What more do you need to know about Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys that Troy Aikman's getting a paycheck for the Miami Dolphins? And as Florio said, be an interesting battle to see who gets turned around first, the Miami Dolphins under Aikman or the Aikman-less Dallas Cowboys. And Troy was asked about the lack of success of the Cowboys in the last 30 years since he quarterbacked them to their last Super Bowl. And he goes, well, it starts at the top. Sorry to say. Troy said that. He's not afraid to say it. And he goes, if they won, Jerry take the credit. So since they're not winning, he's got to take the blame. So for those that don't know why Troy Aikman's not working for the Dallas Cowboys, it's because him and Troy and Jerry and Troy don't get along. And I don't think that's changing now, not at Jerry's advanced age. And, well, by the way, when he dies and this team gets handed on to the kids, they don't like Troy either. So forget about Troy Aikman ever working for the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm moving on. The LA Rams are taking it a day at a time when dealing with wide receiver Puka Nacua and when he'll return to practice. Head coach Sean McVay said Monday, Puka, who left the Rams joint practice against the Dallas Cowboys last Tuesday with a lower back injury, may not return to practice until next week. Meanwhile, defensive end Myles Garrett also did not take part in practice. He's dealing with swelling in his knee. McVay said the Rams will wait to decide when Garrett will return to practice, but said probably next week. He's the best defensive end, edge rusher in the National Football League. We all know that. I'll ask Lule this when he joins us next, Travis Lule. I mean, let's be honest with you. That position, there's the quarterback. Go get him. Whether you want a spin move, a dip move, a bull run, whatever, go get him. You need to be out in the drills? Myles Garrett, really? And I'm pretty sure Puka Nacua knows the offense by now, too. So please don't be fooled by is what I'm saying at these vets that are being held out of camp or injuries. Sorry I missed the 111, guys. I was on my Troy Aikman tangent. Matthew DeBuck writes in and says, any real news on a CFL team in Quebec City? Come on, Rod. Matt talks cheap. I'm not talking about it. And when I get back to Florida in 15 days, we're not going to talk about it then either, okay? Because I would rather stick my fingers in a blender than talk about CFL expansion. God bless you that you want to. I don't. And DeBuck goes on to say, is college football Power 4 taking some of the money from the NFL? That's a great question. Not for today. Ken of Mississauga says, thank you for the tribute to both men. Who are we talking about? Oh, O.J. Bergrants and Tony Proudfoot? Okay, thank you. That was just literally off the top of my head. Tough to see these guys. It also kind of amazing when you think about how rare that disease it is, that it would strike as many high-level athletes as it has. Tony Proudfoot, O.J. Bergrants, Lou Gehrig. Virginia, Eric in Mason Neck, Virginia. Hello. He says the NFL has been trying to get the Jacksonville Jaguars to Europe for at least 10 years. Of course, from the outside looking in. Saad Khan is their owner, right? And he's from across the pond. I think that's the reason why the Jaguars playing so many games there. Jason in Red Deer says, nice to see a commissioner that actually shows his face once in a while. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just passing it along. 902-518-3033. That is the text line. Point one NFL, point two NFL. Although you brought up the CFL, DeBuck, we made our picks last hour. For this week, it's easy. All home teams. Look up the schedule. Point three, Blue Jays. How about this? The World Series finalists from last year, Toronto, have turned their season around by winning 6 series in a row. Manager John Schneider was asked to pinpoint the change in his team's course. He said, pitching is always the most important, unquote. John Schneider confirmed Jose Soriano, Max Scherzer, and Shane Bieber will be the 3 starters against the Rays, which begins today, that series. And he didn't even mention Dylan Cease, the all-star, leading the American League in strikeouts. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised that the Blue Jays begin play today, a half game out of a wild card spot. It's exciting. I did the math. There's like 32 games left to go. The A's are out. No, they're done. They got 12. They're 12 games out of a wild card spot. A half a spot are the Blue Jays. As it turns out, hey, they're better than we thought. We got hockey to get to, including the Golden Knights, a little later on. We'll be right back here on the RP Show and Silver State Sports.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Our guest segment on the RP Show, Silver State Sports Game Plus streaming, brought to you by Prairie Panels. I'll tell you more about Prairie Panels in a second because I got to tell you about Travis Lulay and his resume. It's been added to. Hang on, Travis. Montana, let's start at college. Montana State cast checks in the NFL with the Seahawks and Saints. Back to the Seahawks and then the Canadian Football League. BC Lions 08 to 2018. Grey Cup champion in 2011. Grey Cup MVP, which we're going to get to. Two-time West Division All-Star. All-Canadian one time. And maybe the greatest human being to lace him up in the Canadian Football League. I'm not joking. We're going to listen. Now's not the time to be humble, Travis. The Wall of Fame in BC, buddy. Congratulations, man. Announced last week. I love it. How'd that feel?
Pretty special. Yeah, no, appreciate the lead in there, Rod, and all good. Good to see you, by the way. But yeah, no, it was a pretty special call. My good friend, Jamie Terrace, obviously has been a tremendous ambassador for the BC Lions forever. I know him on a personal level. He gives me a call and we're just kind of chit-chatting, making small talk. How's the family? This and that. Oh, kids are doing this. Oh, by the way, I'm calling on behalf of the Wall of Fame committee and you're going in next month. So that was pretty darn cool.
Well, I'm just so happy for you. And, yeah, I mean, my Riders taking on your Lions this Sunday, I thought now would be a really good time to get you on, but I feel like I'd like to be there for that game too. And I guess that's just not something you think about, is it? Like, what's been your thoughts since you got that call?
Yeah, it's just another opportunity to reflect. And obviously, you hear people say this, and it sounds cliche, but it's the real thing. Is the people that you played with is what you remember most about the game, right? And so it's like, some of these guys I'm casually in touch with, some former coaches, teammates, players, and whatnot. But the minute I get a nod like that, everybody comes out of the woodworks to reach out and say, "Hey, congrats, well earned, da da da. Hope to see it up in BC." So that's pretty darn special. I mean, it takes you right back to being in the locker room and all those moments. So it's a cool opportunity to reflect. My kids coming back, they're really excited. They experienced it as very little people at the end of my career. So for them to come back and kind of take a different lens on, what Dad used to do back in the day, that'll be kind of fun. My folks and in-laws are planning to come up, made a ton of trips up to Vancouver. So it'll be a little reminiscent of what life used to look like.
The most beautiful city on the continent, as far as I'm concerned, too. Oh, yeah, I can't wait to get out there this weekend. But Travis, here's the other thing. It's not just Riders and Lions. Watermelon Smash this Sunday. It's going to be awesome. Thank you, Amar Dolman, for the invitation to come. But your name came up recently with the Lions when they were at 1-5, and I told you that. I was texting you that. Well, we've had Adam Bighill on the show, and the Grey Cup kid, my buddy Tad Cornegay. They're all giving their perspective of that historic year. That's a Netflix documentary, brother. So give me your perspective of it.
Yeah, well, it is. It was a special year. And, the biggest life lesson learned was that, when you really believe and that you have something that is either better or special or has a chance to be good, being resilient is such a life lesson. Like that could have so easily, and you know this in the pro sports world, that could go sideways so quickly if we're making wholesale decisions and firing coordinators and benching quarterbacks and the thing that the fans clamor about and people who are outside of the building, like this has to be, they need a big change. They're 0-5. That's obviously terrible. It can't be 0-5, right? But, internally, like we had leads in 4 of those 5 fourth quarters. We just weren't finishing games off. We had veteran leadership. We had enough explosive youth talent, and it just hadn't happened in the first 5 weeks. And then slowly, we pick up a piece here. You mentioned a Tad Cornegay, Andrew Harris gets plugged to the lineup. We get a Kareem Smith, Ryan Phillips, who, by the way, going into the Wall of Fame with a good friend, but just a great teammate moment. He played field halfback for the bulk of his career. He moved to wide side corner, and Tad Cornegay played field half. And so it was stuff like that. The leadership of Wally, Jacques Chapdelaine, Dan Durazio, veteran coaching staff, Chuck McMahon. And then we had the Brent Johnsons, G. Roy Simons, Angus Reid, guys that had been there. They just didn't let the locker room panic when it would have been so easy to do that. And then finished it with a bang, right? You got hot. Momentum's a real thing. Back into brand new BC Place. Home Grey Cup in front of our fans was pretty darn special.
Another name is Arlen Bruce, who I've had on. And I've said to both him and Tad, I said, you guys are credited for saving that season. Is that true? They both said, yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Which doesn't surprise you knowing them. But you also touched off a string of home teams winning the Grey. 2011 BC won it. 2012 the Argos won it at home. 2013 we won it with Sask at home. Like that's just, that's a magic. I'm getting tingles thinking about it.
Yeah, that was a special run because I think we were only the second or third team to do it, and then 3 in a row happened in the CFL, right? So obviously I'd be remiss not to mention Arlen Bruce is a guy that we picked up that season. But if you remember, early in that season, it was G. Roy Simon and the other 4 wideouts had less than 5 CFL catches, right? So it was a very, very young group. So that's what Arlen Bruce brought to the table. We could take some attention off G. Roy, line him up on opposite sides of the field. And he was a great competitor and great teammate when we had him in BC. And so it was like all these, these were like subtle shifts that happened. It wasn't a wholesale sweeping change that allowed us to kind of get over the hump and become a much better football team in the back half of the season. So,
well, I mean, your career in the CFL was longer than just the one season and even that one game. But I got to ask you one more question about it. When Tad was on here, he goes, we knew before that game even kicked off we were going to win. Is that just Tad being Tad? Or is that how you guys felt?
No, I mean that team. I mean, I hadn't been in one before or since where the confidence was so high in just how we were going to win the game. I mean, I've heard people say it, and it was so true. It wasn't like, oh man, I hope we win this game. It was how quickly are we going to get a big lead? Like how it's a race to 40 points on offense. How quickly can we get to 40? And that's kind of how we were thinking. And I'll never forget Wally Buono the night before the game. He was just talking to the team like it was a done deal. He said, hey, when we win, post game, we're going to meet I'm telling you guys, you're going to want this picture. We're going to meet at the 55. So media's going to be there. Confetti's coming down. It's going to be crazy. Get this picture. And it just happened. And I remember looking around the room like, are we like, is this like a jinx thing or should we not be talking like this? But it didn't feel arrogant. It didn't feel over the top. We just went out and got her done.
Well, those speeches, man, it is a whole Netflix series. I don't think there was a camera on that, but you saw the legendary John Hufnagel 2008. Boys, it's their stadium. It's their this, their that. We got them right where we want them. Cody Fajardo, did you see his legendary speech to the team before the 2023? Oh, my God, the man doesn't swear. He dropped an F-bomb. There's something to be said for those rallying speeches, Travis.
Oh, yeah. No, big time. I mean, sometimes, you're a pro, you've been around the game, you've heard every motivational quote that ever is. And, guys take those things differently. Like, if you're not motivated to play, this is where I was, like, there's nothing you can say to me that's going to make me want to play harder or better or that's in here. Like, that has to be the mindset of an athlete. But every now and then there's a nugget that just kind of raises the hair on the back of your neck, okay, yeah, like I like what he's saying and I'm on board. So, yeah, I mean, Wally's confidence in our football team and our ability to play at a high level was just there and it was obvious and we went out and did it.
You're going to love this. Vancouver Eric writes in, he says, that's my quarterback. Thanks for the 2011 Grey Cup, Travis. Daniel in Vancouver, way to go, Travis. We still love you out here. Rich in Edmonton says Travis was an absolute gunslinger. Daniel in Vancouver says, yes, he's got a great arm. Vintage Sasko says, I enjoyed Lule on Sportsnet. DAZN needs to back the Brinks truck up to Emery Hunt and Travis Lule's houses. Arlen Bruce is watching. He says Jacques Chapdelaine, Travis Lule, Mike Wiley, Jarius Jackson. How could we not win? Congratulations, number 14. God bless you and your family. I'll be watching Sunday. That is from AB4. Oh, my God. This is. I didn't expect all this today, Travis. Now,
tell Arlen what's up. Reps and touches, baby. Reps and touches.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
He said, I'm 6'2" in the red zone. T. Lou. He said 14, throw it up. I'm 6'2" in the red zone, baby.
Was he?
That's what I got.
Was he?
He definitely was. He played all of 6'2" in the red zone plus.
I knew this interview would be great. Now, I was going back and looking through the archives. The last time I had you on, you were just leaving your role with the Lions to move home to work in the family business. So is that still the deal? You do that all over again, I'm assuming, with a smile on your face?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a good move for my family. My kids seem well adjusted here. Wife's happy. This is where I grew up. My folks are both here. My in-laws are here. My wife's from here. My brother, obviously, in business. And I kind of took that year. I spoke to you a number of times that year. I was your in-house West Coast correspondent, right? Yeah. Right. So I was working for the club, and then kind of as that year wound down, it was like I think our family's ready to make this move out of football, and I just wanted to be really, really intentional about that if that's what we were going to do. So we came back. Everybody's happy, healthy. I am coaching, but I'm coaching 14U softball. I'm coaching 6th grade girls basketball. My wife coaches volleyball, so we're super involved. It's a fun season of life, right? My oldest 2 daughters are in middle school. My youngest is a 5th grader, so she's hot on their heels. And it's been an absolute blessing, and I still get to scratch that coaching itch that definitely is within me.
I love it. Well, and by the way, in that last conversation you and I had via text, just so I can clarify here, the Lions were 0-5 in your year. They're 1-5 this year, and you said, I don't think you mind if I say that, you said they're primed for a Grey Cup. They've won 3 in a row since, baby.
Hey now.
So what are you seeing?
We got a long season. Yeah, I mean, again, a couple of those losses were close. Obviously, Nathan being healthy is paramount to the team having a chance to continue to win, and that's no disrespect to backup quarterbacks. Nathan's just a special player, and I think I've just been in these locker rooms. It's been me at times. It's been others, but you have a guy go down that is a bit of a demoralizing thing in the locker room. It's like, ooh, okay, this is going to be different. And then you get a little bit of jolt of energy when that guy comes back, right? So I think you're experiencing a little bit of that. I saw Buck say in a post-game speech something to the effect of, "We got some stuff to clean up, but we're not going to clean it up right now, celebrate the win, but we got to get back to work." So the mindset seems right. Winning has to happen now. I mean, I know it's a long season, but you gotta beat the teams that are in front of you in order to move back up in the point standings, right? So that's awesome opportunity for the Lions again this week. But yeah, a lot of football left. You've seen flashes of the team they can be. I think they're really young on the back end. That hurt them early on. They seem to be stabilizing there. My buddy, old teammate TJ Lee with the interception in the end zone to ice the game last week was awesome to see. So no, I like our chances going forward. So the guys just got to go and get her done.
Well, I think the fans of all the teams are enjoying this discussion. I know I am. And by the way, Wayne from Victoria, BC writes in on the Western Dodge text line. He says, congrats to Travis for the induction to the BC Lions Wall of Fame. So that's from Wayne. He's actually a Rider fan in Victoria, so he's probably eating glass for him to say that. But Amar Dolman's become, no, he's not, I'm joking, or he's a Rider fan, but Amar Dolman's become a really good friend of mine. And he thinks of Nathan Rourke the way I know that Wally thinks of you, in terms of the quality of person that he is. How important is that? And I also know they agonized over trading VA because VA's special too, right? That was the underlying story in the Calgary game last week. But with Nathan, how much does it mean to be a quality person too at that position?
No, I mean, I obviously that's how I tried to carry myself and tried to live it. The guys that I was around in the NFL were some of the best humans that I knew. And so when I was in Seattle, I was with Matt Hasselbeck. He was the veteran Pro Bowl quarterback at the time. He had a young family. He connected with all of his teammates throughout the locker room. I'm like, oh, and not that that's a foreign concept, but like he did it. He lived it. He breathed it. And I'm like, oh, well, the success is happening here, right? This team's riding high. I go to New Orleans. It's the same thing. Drew Brees is very much built in that same mindset. So I'm watching these guys like, this is what it looks like to be, a franchise guy. And so I'm taking notes, right? And so if I ever get the opportunity, this is what, I kind of incorporated that into some of my leadership style. And I say this about Nathan. I don't know him personally. Obviously, I know he played a season with Mike Riley, who's a good friend of mine. So I got a little bit of insight into who he is and what he's like. Mike had always planted seeds, like he's going to be a good player someday. But the thing about Nathan is he cares, right? Like if the quarterback is there, he could have all the talent in the world. If he's not 100% bought in, and this goes for everybody anywhere in any walk of life, but your franchise guy, the guy who's on all this stuff and doing all the interviews, he has to be all in and has to care. It has to mean something to him. And that's the sense I get from Nathan. Like he's very competitive. He wants to win. He wants to be the guy with the ball in his hands at the end of the game that his teammates are looking at him. And that matters. I mean, Saskatchewan's got that guy in Trevor Harris. I think Cody Fajardo's that way. Vernon's become that guy. I mean, CFL's got some good quarterback play right now, but I see that in Nathan. That's what makes me always think the Lions have a chance when he's healthy.
It's interesting when you say that because Amar was on this show and said, he goes, I work 7 days a week. I think Nathan works 8. And the thing is, what Travis is saying, everybody, is when your teammates see a guy working that hard, what do they think? I got to put in the effort too. Right? That's
the standard. That becomes the standard. Yeah, you can't sleep at night if you're not putting in the work that guy is. And that's how the best teams I've ever been on, the players kind of run the locker room because they're built that way.
Wally told me on this show, I said, you got any regrets, Wally? And he goes, I would always like to coach in Sask. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how that would have gone over. Like Trevor Harris, they lost in Hamilton. People are on his ass here, man. This is Alabama. Now that I live in the U.S. South, I get it. Like I come back for the summer, but I'm down there for 9 months. I get it, man. The pressure is hot. And Trevor's been so high that any little dip, Travis, they're going to be all over him. Like, would you have, that's my point. Would you have liked to have played in Saskatchewan or anywhere else for that matter?
Oh, sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel super blessed and fortunate to have played my whole career in BC. I'm a West Coast guy and I was close to family and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, playing in Saskatchewan, those games, you were always up a little bit more for it when the fans are, breathing down your neck and there is that pressure. And early in my career, Saskatchewan had good football teams. So we were playing competitive games. It always meant something when we were playing there. So, but yeah, playing behind a passionate fan base. Yeah. I mean, obviously there's criticism that comes with playing quarterback when everybody else wants to win in the province too, right? But give me that. That's where I want to be playing, where the people care.
Were you starting in 08 in that playoff game? We started Michael Bishop. Were you starting for BC in 08?
No. I actually signed that offseason of 08, 09. 09 was my first training camp.
Okay. Because they beat us. Yep. Lions beat us in our park. We had that hot tub in the end zone. Rob Murphy and Jimenez jumped in the hot tub.
I've seen the clips. Yeah.
That stuff doesn't happen anymore. I was so mad at the time. I'll look back and go, that was so great in retrospect. Okay, well, we're going to be done here in a couple of minutes. Hey, Goodell said this morning the NFL is going to have teams outside the USA. Where do you think that'll be?
I don't know. Did they plant any teasers?
That's all he said. It's not if, it's when. There will be teams outside the USA. So when you hear that, what do you think?
Boy, I don't know. What does that look like? They played games in where? In London and Mexico. I mean, are they going to try to poach a Canadian city? I don't know.
Could it work?
I mean, theoretically, it could work. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that looks like logistically. I mean, you have a NFL team overseas. That's, I don't know. That's a little bit of a headache for guys, but you would I don't know. Trying to make it more of a global game. I don't know. What's the thought there?
I apologize. I didn't tell you I was going to ask. That just came up a minute before the show. I'm on Instagram. I see Goodell.
No, you're good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, there's no way Canada. I mean, Rogers has the money to do it, but the first city I thought was Mexico City. But I'm like, if they had a European division and an Australian division and a South America, I could see that. That's the way that it's all about this. But they're gonna cut us off here right away, so I got to roll. Travis, thank you so much for this. Congratulations again on the Wall of Fame. You deserve it so much, and made me so happy to see that. So enjoy it for all that it is.
Rod, thanks for the chance to say hello. Good to check in, and go Lions.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
You bet.
All right, Travis Lulay joining us, everybody. Grey Cup champion 2011, and now the latest member, along with former teammate Ryan Phillips, of the BC Lions Wall of Fame. We'll be back in a moment with a sports update and viewer takeover. The text line is open, 902-518-3033, with anything that you'd like to get your thoughts in on what we talked about today. We'll be right back on Silver State Sports, Game Plus streaming, and WQVZ.
Ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band.
You know your man is working hard. He's worth a team.
Saturday, December 5th, Temple Garden Center.
Now.
The Gene Simmons Band performing your favorite classic hits. Tickets on sale now at sasktix.ca. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
Get ready to make unforgettable memories with your little ones at Elmo's Got the Moves, the all-new Sesame Street live show coming to your neighborhood. Friday, December 4th, Temple Garden Center. Tickets on sale now at SaskTix.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's the RP Show. I will get to the sports update for Ultimate Fan Zone, but the viewers have so many comments, and I apologize to those that I didn't get to. I got to a lot with Travis, but Brent in the Bridge City says, congratulations, Travis. You were a huge favorite of my mom. Must have been your red hair. God bless you, and good luck to you. Ken in Mississauga, Ontario says, that felt like 100 questions in a few minutes. Really excellent. On the expansion thing, it's popping off. I apologize, everybody. Vintage Sasko says, if the NFL expands to Monterrey, Mexico before the CFL, I'm going to riot, he says. Yeah. Hang on a sec. San Diego, Colt from San Diego says, London is brand new expansion team in the European Football Alliance, used to be called the European League of Football. I won't doubt you. I'm sure you're right. But with my new DAZN subscription, I see they have Elf. I'm like, is this the movie Elf? No, European League of Football. Unless it is the movie Elf. I didn't watch it. But yeah, it's on there. Wayne in BC writes in, and he says, that's the thing I've learned as I've gotten older. I respect lots of players from other teams, including Travis. Where it came home to roost for me, believe it or not, one night I was in a bar with Paul McCallum, Travis Lulay. No, Lulay wasn't there. Paul McCallum, Buck Pierce, and Rob Murphy. That's who it was. And I'm sitting there going, these guys are actually pretty good guys. McCallum was my friend because he'd been with my team for years. And then he invited me out with their guys. And I'm like, they just happen to wear different colors. They wear orange. We wear green. These are unbelievable guys. That was Buck Pierce and Rob Murphy. That's where I realized it. So not everybody has had that opportunity to hang out with star players of the opposition. I did that night, and we had big fun. Shohei Ohtani and Pete Crow Armstrong are in dead heat for the NL MVP after both went nuclear Monday with nearly identical games. PCA's second blast, well, they went 4 for 5 at the plate, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs each. PCA's second blast was a walk-off to reach 30 home runs and 30 on the year. Live Golf has officially canceled its team championship in Michigan, the latest in a series of setbacks. This week's event in Indianapolis will now be the season finale as the Reeling Tour tries to reimagine itself as a fundamentally new league moving forward. Venus and Serena Williams played their official doubles match together since 2022 Monday at the Cincinnati Open, where they fell in 3 sets to Peyton Stearns and Marta Kotsuk in the first round. NFL, the Colts have struck a 1-year, $8.32 million deal with Keenan Allen, whose 1,055 career receptions ranks second among active players.
and 13th all-time. Travis Kelce's first among active players. And Nike's stock dropped 4% on Monday for its lowest close since September 2014. The stock has now plummeted nearly 80% from its all-time high in 2021 amid sales declines and persistent turnaround skepticism. I will say one thing in business, that clothing, a very competitive space. This is a very competitive space too, by the way, so I really appreciate you stopping by daily like you do. Clothing, I don't know if I can make it in that racket. That's the sports update brought to you by our friends at the Ultimate Fan Zone. Like, shop Ultimate Fan Zone like I did. It is your authentic MLB fan store for official jerseys, hats, T-shirts, hoodies, and more. Game day, every day at UFZ. It doesn't happen every day, but I really love when the U.S. sports morph with our Canadian sports, where everybody can join the party, i.e. the NFL coming out today, Roger Goodell, and saying it's not a matter of if, it's when the NFL has teams outside the USA. I just think that dude, I've been around him, but I haven't met him. You see that I've met a lot of really cool guys and gals in sports, and I have. But some of the biggest ones I've been around, I'm just too afraid to go say hi. Roger Goodell, I've been from me to that fan away from Goodell. I probably would get tasered. Gretzky's another one. He was just sipping a coffee on the floor of the NHL draft in Raleigh, North Carolina, not doing a damn thing. And I'm like, and I didn't. And I don't regret that. Virginia Eric says, new era. I like that merch. It is nice stuff, new era. You're right. We'll be right back with Overtime right after this.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Hi, welcome back. Hi. As soon as we're off the air, I'm packing all this gear up and driving to Calgary. Can't wait. I don't like driving. Somebody said to me the other day, they're like, I love driving like you do, Rod. I'm like, I don't love it, but I'll do it. And I'm doing it to go to Overtime Hockey Lanes tomorrow. The flow here is unbelievable. The flow. Vancouver, Eric writes that he says, you've had some great guests lately, Rod, Travis, Lule, Henry Burr. Tomorrow, Overtime Hockey Lanes Stanley Cup champion Colin Patterson's coming down in the venue to join us at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. Ryan Thelwell will be joining us as well, NFL, CFL alum, via video. Thursday, 10-year CFLer, Grey Cup champion Mike Abu-Meshrik will be with us live at the Golf Fanatics in Calgary at Theron Fleury's Golf Tournament. I'm loading the show with guests because Theo is too busy golfing. I get it. I've done it long enough now that I know Theo's mind's on golf. Totally, I get it. Now I'm ready for it. See what experience does? Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I learn. Oh, you guys, I loved how we've touched the Nike thing. It's touched off this incredible discussion in the streaming chat about everybody's favorite clothing line, sports clothing line, apparel. Can I tell you a story? You longtime CF fans will get it. CFL fan. My rookie season as the radio guy, 1999, play-by-play. They had these starter black jackets with a green stripe here, the old CFL logo here, riders around the bicep there, and the old logo on the back. It was on it twice. I gave it to a guy that was working on our crew. I literally gave him the coat off my back, the jacket off my back, because he didn't have much. And he ended up leaving our crew, Vintage Sasko, you'll love this, in squalor some years later. And I hated to be that guy, but I said, listen, that was my favorite jacket. Can I get that back? And he's like, I don't have it. I don't know where it is. It's the last time we talked. I'm like, so what I learned was don't be giving away your prize clothes unless you don't ever want to have it back is kind of what we're saying. I'm like, listen, you're never going to wear Rider stuff again. You left it in bad terms. Can I have it back? Okay. 902-518-3033. Oh, I see that we have Golden Knights staff watching. You don't know how I know, but I know. And I said that I would get to these NHL Pacific Division rankings. If you have a problem with these, like Zig Fracassi did from NFL Radio with our Atlantic Division standings, I said to Zig, take it up with FanDuel. These aren't mine. They're FanDuel's. I'll be coming out with mine in a month. He's a Boston Bruins fan, and he took umbrage with the fact the Bruins were picked to be second last in the Atlantic Division. Don't blame me, bro. Pacific Division, from FanDuel, the Edmonton Oilers, number 1. I'm not saying I agree. Number 2, the Vegas Golden Knights. Number 3, the Los Angeles Kings. Number 4, Anaheim. I would flip those two, but you get me. Those are the 4 playoff teams: Edmonton, Vegas, LA, Anaheim. Below the cutoff line, San Jose, Seattle, Calgary, and Vancouver. I've hosted many events in Calgary over the last several summers, pretty much since I left Sask full-time. And I often say at them, who here is optimistic about the Flames season? Every year, like 4 people put their names up in the room, and their names are like Joel Otto and Tim Hunter and Lanny McDonald and vis-a-vis guys that have to say it. Nobody else puts their hand up. I'm not asking that question on Thursday. Wayne in Victoria, BC says, that's what I love about your show, Rod. You bring on people from all teams that I realize are great people. They just play for the opposing team. The thing with Lule, it's interesting because you see how bright he is. and how good of a person he is. And he wanted to make a career in the media. But I'll tell you this, making a career of CFL media in Canada, unless you are working for a team or the station on the crew as a broadcaster, it's virtually impossible to do. And I got to give Justin Dunk a hell of a lot of credit because he's done that. He's made a living as a CFL broadcaster. But I thought about it when I left the Riders, or makes his living off CFL coverage. But I'm like, I want to do other things. As you see, I want to do the baseball. And in Florida, it's not dissimilar. It would be a meager living being just the Florida NHL hockey media. There are some guys doing it, but not that many. In Canada, you can do it. Lots of guys are doing hockey in Canada, yeah. CFL, very hard to do in Canada. Baseball, forget it. Yeah. Kirk in Toronto writes in. He says, the CFL will expand by one team in the East before the NFL comes to Canada. I think we have had that poll question over the years. I mean, Kirk, you've been watching this show for a long time. I feel like we've had that poll question. I didn't even get to the college football today, but trust me, we got plenty of time for that. But that was a poll question at one time. What will happen first? CFL expands anywhere, or the NFL comes to Canada? And then the other options, neither, because I'm sorry to say it's been a long time since we've had to worry about either. Vintage Sasko says, let's get the jacket stealer on the show. Conflict equals ratings. Problem is, I don't even want to talk to him. John Ohm says, best damn show right here. Brent in the Bridge City says, thanks for the really enjoyable show, Rod. I've been catching parts of it because of doctor's appointments, etc. Always like Travis Lulay. Have a good rest of your day. Again, I'm jumping in my Dodge Hornet from Western Dodge, and I'm ripping to Calgary with the speed within the speed limit, of course. John says, Quebec City or Halifax? Please don't. Don't do that. Eric in Mason Neck, Virginia. Hello. He says, yep, the NFL owns Canada. More and more every day, bro. Don't get me started. Okay, it's going to be hockey, football. That's our thing. Tomorrow, live from Overtime Hockey Lanes, 28th Street Northeast. Join us if you want. 10 a.m. live, Mountain, 10 to noon Eastern. And Thursday from Theo's Golf Tournament. Murph's going to be on that show, too, and Kevin the Medium as well. Thanks to Travis Lulay, producer Corey Scruffy. It has been a lot of fun. Wish me well on the road. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody, on the RP Show.
That.